But what we've seen from Dplus KIA is kind of a focus in mid lane. In their series, they've been going for a lot of mid first picks, blind LeBlanc, blind Malzahar. So wonder if that's going to continue to be a trend here, whereas BNK FEARX getting rid of the Orianna Azir also leaves up potential a Rise here. So I think that could be a possibility. We're getting a Wukong hover. Now, Wukong would definitely love a little bit of setup from the mid lane, so still thinking about those Rises that we have seen be so popular here on this patch. And for everybody at home, we are also on 25-19. This is probably the last tournament you will see on this patch outside of maybe EMEA Masters, as they will be moving on to 25-20 for the World Championship. BNK FEARX, as a response to the Wukong hovering the Rise champion that VicLa here in this tournament is currently 1-2 in series total. I have heard Mazel join back into the call. Now, is he in his proper links to actually join? This is... Alright, so I'm going to get him into this. I'm going to get him into the parsec and everything. Everybody at home, please don't freak out. And if you do, don't. Okay, everything might break for a second, everybody. I'm sorry. I've got to move stuff. Which means... Oh no, the stream! Oh my god. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. He's accepting. Boom! Everything vaguely should be fixed. One moment. You're joining cam. Okay, I need to get OBS in the right slot for us. There he is!
We're here! Thank you, Spectrum! You absolute POS! We're back, baby.
Okay, we've got most of the draft already kind of getting all the way through. We got Lucian and Braum as the 2 and 3 here for Dplus KIA, so a little bit of extra movement. I think also a good takeaway from Diable and Kellin, and now a full topside complete here for BNK FEARX with the Jarvan and the Mbessa.
Yeah, I actually really like the Mbessa here. Obviously, it's a really big comfort pick for DK. But being able to have that, a lot of proactivity between the solo lanes and the jungle. I know we've lauded the J4 in terms of just what it provides to any team comp at this point, but I think BFX are actually setting themselves up pretty good for this first, at least, setup of the draft. Now, in the second phase, we do see a little bit of that solo lane focus from them, taking away the Aurora, at least, so some flexibility taken away from DK.
What is ShowMaker going to play? Because LeBlanc is still open, Malzahar is still open. I don't know if you really want to play Malzahar into Jarvan and Mbessa. Sounds quite miserable.
I don't think so.
But I also don't think you want to play LeBlanc into this combo. So maybe we get another Kassadin performance. Think it's, you know, has some legs here to play.
Please no. I don't want to. I don't. You know. I want action. I want.
Kassadin's fun.
Yeah, but you have to wait till like level 16. I mean, that's
whatever.
a long wait. Anyways, we did get the Cassiopeia ban by BFX in the second phase, so they are definitely whittling down that ShowMaker champ pool just a little bit, even though the guy has been on an absolute tear with the amount of champions he's picked this year. We do see the Nico and the Lulu bans as the priority for DK.
Yep, just get rid of all of the champions that I think Kellin is probably going to have the biggest splash on, and they are expecting that they're probably going to be looking for Diable's champion first. I think the Lulu is great when trying to hamper a champion like Yunara as well. So already BNK FEARX, I think pretty decent composition that allows for so much crowd control from their top side that it would be pretty difficult to get onto this Yunara. Now, Braum adds value there. The Lucian Braum needs to land the Winter's Bite and the concussive blows to kind of get that full oomph from it in the early phase. So what else are DK going to kind of lock in that gives them a little bit more legs here to stand on? I don't know if Jax is going to be great.
I like the Jax. I appreciate it just because you force that side lane pressure, although they do have good answers into the side lane. The Malzahar is going to come out once again for ShowMaker.
Wow. So already we are probably going to see a different champion here for Siwoo throughout this series because it is a best of 5. In this tournament, he has played 3 champions. Jax at 4-0, Mbessa at 2-1, and same scoreline for Rumble. So he has played Jax, Mbessa, Rumble all tournament long. And maybe we get something a little bit different here. It is going to be the Rek'Sai, which we saw kind of come up as a pretty potent counter into the Ambessa was one of the few champions who actually saw Siwoo lose during their series against Weibo.
That's a curiosity there itself, but I do love to see some of the tech coming through into the Ambessa. Although I do feel like this sets up for a little bit of weird lane states. Like both, I think a little bit more like scaling centered, team fight centered more clearly, at least on BFX's side. But DK feels like there's spaghetti all over the wall, and maybe it tastes good. Maybe you can taste it. It looks good. Like, who knows? But they got stuff all over the place, Alk.
Yeah, they've got a lot of... It feels like they can do a little bit of everything. I am a little worried for Dplus KIA because with this Malzahar on the mid, I kind of feel like they are a little low damage. When you look at their team composition, you're going to be having Malzahar. You're also going to be having a Rek'Sai. So the executes do need to kind of be on point. And so what this actually means for how you're going to be looking to be proactive on the game might be a little bit more difficult for Dplus KIA. So I think if they're able to win this, though, they get a lot of really important champions out thanks to Fearless. And so it's up to BNK FEARX. Can they actually prove that they can withstand a decent early game and make a reasonable attempt in the mid game?
And the thing I find the most interesting about ShowMaker is on his Malzahar performances, I don't think they've been the most showy. Obviously, I don't think it's very easy to be showy on a Malzahar, but in the end, it's a lot of what he provides for the team, what he provides for the comp, and the lockdown, that initiation. His flashes with the Nethergrass has been incredible to watch, and I expect that to be a big ticket item here for Dplus KIA. But game number 1 of our finals is kicking off now. We have a little bit of spice in the top lane with the Rek'Sai being picked up against Clear's Ambessa, but we'll see exactly how these solo lanes match out. I do expect a lot of action from the jungle, and rightfully so. I think Lucid and Raptor have been really fun to watch so far. So game number 1 kicking off now, best of 5 to decide who wins ASI.
Okay.
Production man, go.
Gotta fix the...
Dude, we're holding it down tonight, all right? We're
holding
it down. We're holding it down as I say that. It's fine. It's fine. Things happen. We just got to align it a little bit more.
Yep. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving us some extra room. There we go.
Nice. It's looking beautiful, Alk. It's looking beautiful. Never say we didn't try, folks. Never say we didn't try.
All right. Names are going to be a little bit cut off, but deal with it. Not my problem.
Wait, why are they cut off?
Oh, dude. Okay, all right. Well, okay, but I want to talk about the game. And the junglers are starting on opposite sides, you know?
You know like, how many people are going to message about that, though, and get a drive Saturn and live insane?
Well, get owned.
You know that. Get owned. All right, we'll stick with that anyways. But it is interesting, though, when we're taking a look at the map state itself. I mean, we will have the opposite side jungle paths coming through from both of them. I know Jarvan can be a little bit unique in some of his pathing if he wants to ramp back around and go for a little bit of an earlier gank, but we're already seeing a ton of pressure from this 2v2 for BFX.
Yeah, this is really surprising considering one team has Lucian, the other one is supposed to have Braum, right? Like, you're supposed to be able to win these 2v2s this early on, and we're not quite seeing that here in this game. So, pretty good job already. I mean, Yunara is a pretty potent duelist, and this kind of opens up for a lot of plays. What Raptor's going to be able to get done on the top side is potentially going to be game warping here versus this Rek'Sai.
Are you a fan of the Yunara? I think I've asked you before, but I'd love to hear your thoughts again, because I find this pick, for me, obviously, like, individually is very fun to play. I think it has a cool little pattern that you can use with it. But at the professional level, we still have seen teams in this tournament go to Yunara, even though it feels like maybe she's falling out of favor a little bit.
Yeah, she's been nerfed. That's fair, right?
But to other ADCs, they say she got gutted. So, you know, we're being nice about it.
Well, League of Legends players and talking about game balance is not the best combo. For everybody at home, please be
nice.
Yeah. Please be nice. It is only me on prod, as it has been for the last 3 days, to be fair. So.
My goat.
I mean, it's fine. I think Yunara is okay. She's a lot less OP than she was on release, but
yeah. I just don't think you can be as confident in some of the trades and stuff you can have early on. But let's go ahead and take a look at the map state here. We do have both junglers hovering around mid lane right now, though Raptor is going to wrap back around towards bot side. They are full collapsing this. I think Lucid did a really good job of kind of realizing something was a little bit amiss, because if he commits to that scuttle, he literally has 3 people on top of him.
And I think it was good that Raptor path topside just to make sure that Siwoo can't actually find a solo kill, because we've seen this matchup be very, very difficult for Ambessas throughout this tournament. You see that Siwoo already has a pretty decent health lead, even if it hasn't accrued into a gold lead quite yet. And with Wukong on the bottom side, I imagine that BNK FEARX do need to be a little bit careful here. BeryL
aiming, going for the play here. They did have the wrap from Lucid to come around. Raptor going to find him in the end. Was a 3v3 they were willing to go for. He uses the clone out to the side. Really nicely done from Lucid. Does end up getting the concussive blows as well. Still will be on a ward as it does end up falling. DK are going to stick around, keep pressure up on this bot lane.
Hell yeah, we just got their flash. Oh, no heal from Kellin, at least for the next 45 seconds. I think they want to try to go for a dive to see if Diable will step forward. He does have the barrier afforded to him.
Lucid was looking for the angle onto Diable, but won't end up going all the way under turret for it. Kellin will be in a little bit of trouble, but he will be just fine. Does still have some of that healing that the Rakan provides. Going to try to stop some of the backs here as well. BeryL's going to do his darndest to keep everybody safe. Kellin isn't able to stop anybody's backs, and BeryL does God's work there, it feels like.
They were really looking for it, because they know that aiming still has flash and barrier. If they can try to squeeze one of those summoner spells out, BNK FEARX would be a lot more comfortable with their position here. Kellin making sure, being a good support, that the wave gets in under the turret and that DK cannot freeze. The other lanes, though, are looking not too bad here right now. Raptor's opened up a 2-camp lead over his opponents as Lucid does finish up his Gromp. And Rise is getting free time to scale into this game, which I know scaling is relative and you are going to be playing into a Malzahar, but Rise gets access to some really disgusting items this game that I don't think Malzahar is properly really going to be able to punish. So I don't want to say that DK are on a clock, but their champions definitely are a lot more limited in what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something we kind of noted from draft, and we'll just have to kind of keep a side eye on it here. As we're moving forward, we're getting closer to level 6s for everybody. We also have the Dragon already up on the bot side with some bodies surrounding him. We also have the Grubs coming up in about a minute and 45 seconds. It does look like Lucid's going to go ahead and start this objective up.
Bot lane still in a pretty good spot. Also, Raptor hasn't recalled quite yet. Wonder what he is saving his timer for. Hasn't gone back to base, hasn't purchased.
The Krug.
A single ward, though, is going to spot him out here. He's going to get topside scuttle, mostly just to help out clear. That's a pretty good game plan. I think DK getting the Dragon is not at all a bad start.
Yeah, kind of par for the course with the way they've been playing with the pressure in bot side. I love the duality of BeryL and Kellin so far. Both of them just kind of trying to engage on each other's ADCs through each other. Has been kind of fun to watch. Now Raptor will be seen in a mid lane. Realm Warp's going to be used on the ShowMaker. He's going to instantly flash. VicLa wasn't able to follow through. We're going to get a full-on team fight here. We're getting surrounded by DK as they're going to look for the engage onto Diable. Now they get the Nether Grasp as well, taking about half health on a Raptor. He has the concussive blows on him, but can he make it over the wall first? VicLa becomes the new target, and after they do get the first blood, they can't find the double. And they will just get all the pressure they wanted when they came to this position. They also got the Dragon. Oh, BeryL. Okay, the ward signals him. He's okay for now.
But why did Diable walk into pit there? Like, his team is on the top
question.
side. Raptor has ultimate. Lucid doesn't. If we just walk into our Rise and our Jarvan, that should be a good enough play for us to go for. It turns into not only Diable's life, but also his barrier at the same time. A small mistake, again, from one of the most exciting prospects coming out from the LCK this year, but he's made quite a few of them. Remember last night's series versus Nongshim? He's only getting solo killed by Kingin 2 times before immediately going forward and winning the game on some massive team fights.
It was one of those situations in this fight, at least, where it felt like BFX had a read on how to approach that fight, but then all of a sudden it starts crumbling down, as now they might have a read on the ShowMaker, knowing he has no flash this time. He's going to get fully Cataclysm, knocked up with the Grand Entrance. He's going to survive for now. I don't think he's going to survive for long, though. Raptor will end up claiming the redemption kill for BFX.
Well, how long it took BFX, though, that's at least 2 grubs going over to Dplus KIA. Very good, and think about their side lanes here. It won't be as strong into the Rise, but having yourself the
BeryL.
Oh my god,
Okay.
what the?
Went with the Winter's Bite with a flash. They end up finding VicLa on the back end of it too. They do find another kill now, and they're going to continue contesting over the Raptors.
Yeah, BFX feel a little slow here, honestly, Lennon. Like, I watch these games and I'm thinking, okay, the fights aren't the cleanest, yes, but the execution is not all quite there yet here in our game number 1. You can see that was a really well-played dive, even with ShowMaker staying in the wave. Just delays long enough for his support jungle to come on through. And now they're already getting into some interesting lane allocations here. Mazel is going to push in the bot. And while all this was happening, Diable did pick up a pretty decent amount of wave. So he has a 20 CS lead, even with him dying by himself.
And I do wonder if that means that DK are going to kind of move aiming around away from that setup, try to get him some more CS to catch up. But another big thing there was that 3 grubs ended up going over to DK. So they have full neutral objective control so far. And those 3 grubs are not something to slouch at. I mean, this team will absolutely destroy turrets once aiming gets under them. I think it's going to be something to kind of keep an eye out on here as we move forward. But it is just a bit of a reset setup for both teams. Very close, though, I will say, to DK getting the feats of strength.
2 kills, they've got the dragon, and they got 3 grubs. So let's see if Dplus, or if BNK FEARX can keep up the state of the game. I haven't really been as impressed with this team here in this tournament when it came to early games and objective setups. Their whole kind of shtick is, we're going to let Diable run loose in a team fight and just let him play it. Give him the best tools possible, and hopefully he can carry us through games. And that has worked here for ASI, obviously evident in the fact that they are here in the grand finals, but everything else kind of feels like it should go over to the favor of Dplus KIA in this matchup.
Well, we have about a 50-second timer on that next dragon. It's going to be an Infernal Dragon, but again, it would also be that objective setup for DK to get 1 piece of the feats of strength. And I think that's going to rely on a lot of how these comps kind of mold together. I mean, we have all the setup we could ask for both teams now. We have all the level 6s, all the abilities, all the cooldowns, a lot of flashes at least still. But more so I want to break down is, like, are these fights okay for BFX to take? Because we talked so much about the scaling for them, and they do have a lot of that to rely on.
Again, as we said with the mid-fight and the dragon, or the fight around the dragon pit, the idea of them is cool. The execution, however, is making me cringe a little bit. It's making me a little sad, right? Like, I want to see Diable have a good team fight. I would obviously love to see BFX put up a more competitive series than the last time we saw these 2 teams play. And without any vision, now Clear basically has to give up an entire wave versus a 3 grubs and demolish Rek'Sai. So these plates are going to go down very quickly. Maybe even with Lucid here, they might be able to take
the essence
maybe
reaver.
2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do so much damage to that. While BFX will end up getting the dragon back, it will be a little bit of something, some push in bot side as well. But yeah, they are going to hammer down this turret. Look at that thing drop. What the amount of extra damage aiming does on the back end of those Essence Reaver procs. I want to see if they are going to try to burn that one all the way down to the ground.
Nah.
Okay.
This thing,
close.
it should have fortification now, right? Like, it's been taken.
But it's just
been
aiming.
Hit so much. Yeah, but when turret plates fall, it's still a little bit strong. Okay, they're Rise ulting in.
Lucid was holding back in the bush now, and I don't know if BFX can make it out without losing some back. Oh my goodness, he gets the healing back, and that is huge. The void has come for BFX, and it is not kind as it takes their lives.
Wow, Siwoo just absolutely smurfed in that fight. He uses the ultimate to dodge out on the Cataclysm damage, lives with just enough HP to get him out. Oh my god, ShowMaker, don't embarrass him like that. Come on!
He just throws up the BMO emote too. Oh my gosh. They did end up getting that turret, by the way, on top of it all. So it is just DK's parade here.
Look at this. He gets hit with the knock-up, the charm, another one as well. The redemption healing from BeryL is nice. The ultimate, the Void Rush from Siwoo gets him out, and he gets the kill on top of it. They live, they kill VicLa, they got the TPs as well. Everything is coming up trumps, and while this was happening, we talked about, was aiming able to get that turret? Yes, he was. So that gold lead, that CS differential that Diable had an amazing kind of effect for Dplus KIA.
And now you just find yourself in a pretty hefty advantage 14 minutes in with multiple plates gone across the entire map for Dplus KIA. And they have now the feats of strength. They have all their first items completed, working on seconds for a couple members as well. And now it feels like DK will be permanently in the driver's seat with the way they have their composition set up. We also have the Rift Herald in about 50 seconds here, as we do see a little bit of an engage there on the bot side. But we will have that one coming up soon. And I think that DK are just going to continue trying to avalanche this one down.
Okay. Currently taking a look at mid. Aiming's just going to be able to posture. Like you said, timers are really, really important here. There is no teleport for ShowMaker or for Siwoo. So kind of taking of note of if DK want to be able to rotate around the map, they need to be able to push out these waves right now. And we take a look at items. Siwoo is very powerful, like almost one item spikes just across the board, but I really like what they're showing already.
That gold is insane going over for Siwoo as we'll take a look at this mid lane. A little bit of NARAM going on from DK, but that's kind of what they want. They are trying to force BFX's hand as they're going to force a concussive blows there as a re-engage comes through in the end from Raptor, but the Calling's going to try to pull them off of that one. Some suppressive fire from aiming. Meanwhile, on bot side, we're going to get the all-in. VicLa, he's in a lot of trouble now. He's going to have to be careful. The Void Rush is coming for him, and the Void finds another soul to take.
Wow, that's a really good play. Now Dplus KIA. Oh, there it is.
No, Raptor gets caught with his hand all the way in. And unfortunately, it has been bitten off by all of Dplus KIA. The Flash Winter's Bite again, man. BeryL is just stunted on people here as game one is just fully in favor of Dplus KIA. Although Siwoo is in trouble now. He's going to have some healing. The double knockup. He's still alive. Okay, he finally falls. They will end up giving the kill over to Diable. He's trying to do his best to get some gold back for BFX.
All right. Well, that was a little bit of a stopgap measure. Everybody at home, I know you're asking for game sounds. I'm also trying to find the game sounds at this time. I don't know why it's not coming through.
We can't do game sounds, remember?
I'm trying. Yes, we can. I mean,
well,
it'll have a little bit of Chinese casting. But yeah, but that's always been the case. Let's see. Oh, I think that should be game sounds for everybody at home. Allegedly. All right. Well, hopefully they have game sounds. Either way, coming back to this game. When I do take a look at this, what I want everybody at home to kind of take into consideration is when BFX do want to go forward, it is essentially in our 5v5, can we lock down pieces like aiming, like ShowMaker, or even stop Siwoo and Lucid from disrupting our really important damage dealers like the Rise and the Yunara.
And the Yunara is already on 2 items, which is actually just insane. In terms of the pace of everybody else in the game still not being on those 2. We will see the Rift Herald end up going over to Dplus KIA, though. Continuing, at least their topside objective focus. ShowMaker may have taken the bait here. Going to get his spell shield popped as well. He's going to try to dodge out as much as he can. The Redemption even came down, realizing there is no exit, no escape. He will end up falling, so still chunking back this gold lead for BFX.
I just don't think it's meaningful enough, though, because unless VicLa gets this turret by himself, that was still the Herald going over to Dplus KIA. There's still a Dragon that's going to be up, and ShowMaker in 15 seconds will have teleport to come back out, so BFX are probably not going to be able to play for Dragon, especially with the damage that aiming puts down onto Diable and Kellin.
Oh, Diable. He almost gets hit by the concussive blows. Pops the barrier just in case, but unfortunately it really wasn't used as the charge is going to come in. Siwoo trying to go for the play. I thought he was going to maybe go for the flash play. Wasn't feeling super confident for it, but here comes the second charge. So they're going to get the turret down very low. The Redemption's going to come through too. Cataclysm from Raptor. He gets out as well. They're going to use that Unbreakable really nicely. Siwoo getting away from Kellin's engage. Now Lucid is the one in front line. They should be just fine. They're going to turn back for the Dragon. This would be the second Dragon for either team. Don't know if they have the priority to do so, though. It looks like they're going to go back to the jungle.
All right. Well, that's kind of the play that we wanted to see from Dplus KIA. I am still figuring. Okay, I'm going to figure out this audio part real quickly because this is.
I believe in you.
I also want to hear game sounds, but maybe a little less Chinese casting.
True.
Also,
well, maybe.
Okay.
I don't hear anything. But that's me.
I don't know. I don't know why this is not. Anyway, continue casting, Lennon. Get them.
Get him. Well, Dragon did end up getting started by Dplus KIA, so they just reset and then came out to support Lucid, as Lucid had stayed back out on the map. I'm sure he's getting close to that second item now, but he's going to go for an invade. He'll be spotted out on the ward, but they still have pressure from mid and from bot lane. And Clear is realizing that he's going to be in some trouble here.
He's got Diable coming now. He's
and
like,
he also
okay.
has Kellin.
That's fair, but look at how long it took VicLa. Remember, this started with ShowMaker dying, but they got the Herald. Exactly, he eventually got it, but what was the trade for it? They lost the Dragon, they lost their mid-tier one anyway. Now there's a flank coming on through from Raptor. He has Cataclysm coming up now, but there's too many scattered fights right here. VicLa's going to maybe look for a Realm Warp into the mid lane. All it does is just mean that Dplus KIA have to back themselves away from the mid position and basically stop what BFX were looking for.
And it feels even worse for BFX as they will end up getting second item on Lucid now. The Sundered Sky has been completed. His skirmishing power just rose through the roof. And we'll see if they want to try to pressure Atacon here. It does feel like DK are the ones that are kind of dictating the tempo of this game so far. And Lucid's even going for the double clear. What a Chad! I haven't seen that in a while.
Yep, ever since they added much more tighter leashes to the jungle camps, it's been a lot harder to multi-camp at the same time. Mostly just because Riot Games hates Fiddlesticks jungle players, that's fair. But an important spike here for BFX. We talked about the 2 items for our 280 carries, but VicLa also completes his Seraph's Embrace at the same time, and about a minute and a half before we see that Rod of Ages pop. So they don't have to fight around this Otacon. We've seen it has been a very important objective in the game, just in general. And I'm looking at the flowers. There aren't too many flowers for either team, so I don't think it would make or break a game state here if they were to lose it.
I think BFX are on the back foot here, though. They're going to lose a lot of the vision they just tried to set up. You also have a lot of pressure emanating from that bot lane. Siwoo will be available to take these fights as Lucid and the rest of DK are looking in mid lane. Want to push down this tier 2. They are getting surrounded by BFX, but I think it might be too fast.
Oh, Raptor tried to look for something here. He's going to go on a Lucid.
Cataclysm on a Lucid, but Lucid should be fine. He's going to use the clone to get away, and aiming just takes down Raptor. Meanwhile, you had Clear go on the back line, but he is just whittled down to dust as a double kill comes through for aiming. There's going to be the Realm Warp to try to get into the fight in the bot side, but Siwoo is just going to chase him down. Void Rush again, and one more auto. Can he do it? The beast is hungry, and it wants some blood. Gets it for the next knockup, but can't find it because the phase rush comes through from VicLa. He's going to try to make his way away. Meanwhile, BeryL almost falls. Diable steps forward, goes for more. He gets one. He's looking for the 3-piece here, but he can't find it. Meanwhile, the Yakety Sax is continuing to play as VicLa goes down to Siwoo.
VicLa got the level up, so he got more HP out of nowhere. Still ends up falling. Diable flashes forward, almost gets aiming and ShowMaker there. Aiming, you having to use his flash as a recompense. BFX, they lose a large majority of that fight, but still it is Diable who stands. We take a look at this replay here, and it just feels a little too forced. Where is our team fighting right now? It looks like we're trying to go on to Lucid. Clear gets an ultimate. It gets onto... It actually targets ShowMaker, so it doesn't stop the culling from aiming. But then Diable's nowhere near this fight. That's the prescription from us, right? Like, let Diable win and let him play team fights, because here he's transcendent and he basically almost 1v3s versus BeryL aiming and ShowMaker.
I mean, the fact that he was so close to getting the 3 kills in the end, they still lost tier 2. I just realized that as well. And meanwhile, we go back to live and they're losing even more. They lost the Atacon now. And about 4,000, 3,000 gold down as Glacial Fisher is going to come through. And there goes the Cyclone to shred all the armor and the hopes of BFX in this game, number 1. And it continues to be a landslide in favor of Dplus KIA.
This is what we were worried about, Lennon. Talking about Dplus KIA, they 2-0'd them in the quarterfinals. have been undefeated. The only games they have lost were in the group stage, and it was in a single series. Aside from that, this team is undefeated here in the playoffs. So here in this knockout bracket, seeing Dplus KIA take an outstanding lead here at 23 minutes is not all that surprising. And now they're seeing 2, almost 3 items completed for some of their carries once they take their recalls.
Yeah.
This Baron in a minute is essentially going to call game.
VicLa thought he could sneak up on the Void Beast. Unfortunately, the Tremors, if you've never seen the movie, definitely indicate your position here. Siwoo is looking for an angle onto VicLa, won't end up finding it. And you might be saying to yourself, you know, if you think back to the Dplus KIA from their LCK season, you might have seen some leads being maybe thrown away occasionally, but I think it's been a different story for Dplus KIA here in the ASI tournament itself. I think we have seen some shakiness, especially in maybe their first couple series, but since then, I mean, I feel like DK has been heads and above the best team in the tournament. We're going to see them try to flip a switch here onto the Dragon. Siwoo tries to find an angle on the back line. Kellin and Raptor completely missed their engage. They didn't hit a single person with that. And that's just going to mean that DK wiped the floor with them. Put the mop in the bucket because you're done, BFX.
There it is. Dplus KIA, they'll grab themselves the Dragon, put themselves on soul point. And if this game does go on for another 5 minutes, then that's probably just going to be it. Diable's going for LDR third. I unfortunately think, brother, you might just need a Quicksilver Sash. It might be time to pay the tax.
Might be time.
This was good damage. This is the theoretical perfect fight here for BFX. You're putting damage onto aiming and BeryL. You're stopping them from being able to move forward. But then there's just a flash ultimate from Mazel, and that's kind of the fight done for them. As soon as Diable is gone, the HP bars that BFX want to be able to leverage in these fights no longer a factor here. 15-5 is the kill score. 10,000 gold lead with a Baron at their backs. DK are looking very good here in this game number 1 of the best of 5.
And like 5 minutes ago, that was like a 2,000 or 3,000 gold lead. So that just shows you how quickly it ballooned, because they were just able to snowball that into literally every objective on the map, including the Baron. So here we are with about 3.5 items on aiming. About the same for everybody else on the team itself. We're getting a little bit closer for ShowMaker on those 3 items, but more importantly, Lucid having his. And this is a DK that can be pretty proud of their performances so far in ASI. Obviously, they still need to finish out this series, but again, like I was saying, heads and above, the best team by far has taken on every challenge, has handily beat down a few LPL stardoms.
Maybe.
And I think it's it's feeling pretty good for the Dplus KIA fans. Even if you aren't at Worlds, at least you're still performing.
The only 2 series we've actually seen BNK FEARX beat Dplus KIA in these iterations of the lineup were LCK season play-ins, so going into the playoffs for these 2 teams, and then rounds 3 and 5, week 12. So like towards the end, there's another Siwoo solo kill. This time on the Raptor. just get it over with, guys.
The fat lady's singing, and that signals the end, as VicLa is going to be the saving grace of DK, but he's not even going to be able to make it out of his rope warp. Oh, caught in the portal, and that should just be DK finishing this one strong. 12,000 gold up, and now a 1-0 lead in this best of 5. It's going to feel like a really good start. Hopefully we can see a little bit more life from BFX, but they were on that red side. Maybe they switched sides. So far, Dplus KIA dominant as ever.
There you go. Kind of what we were looking towards when we saw this. Good job. I know. I pressed technically 2 buttons because I also had to update the sheets so we can get the proper scores at the bottom here. And you made it through the entire game without disconnecting.
Without disconnecting. It's crazy. Spectrum, you answered my prayers.
Let's get through the rest of the broadcast before we say that. I don't know. I feel like BNK FEARX didn't really apply themselves in the right way. Like, we are a team that wants to be able to scale. The fact that we got one of the dragons, one of the first 2 dragons, is actually very, very good. And a lot of our positioning, the coordination around fights just wasn't great. So the same way that we've seen BNK FEARX win so many series here at ASI, where we are almost fully in the Diable basket, kind of just didn't pop off in this one. And I know it's reflected in the damage there, but VicLa, I think actually had an okay game here.
Yeah, I agree. But I just don't think you can do anything when you're getting solo bolo time and time again against Siwoo in the side lane. Like this Rek'Sai actually paid off huge in the counter pick, and the crazy part is it was a blue side counter pick in that way, so that feels a little extra bad. But really nice drafting setup from DK.
I want to check because he didn't play Rek'Sai top at all this year for Siwoo.
Nope.
He has played Rek'Sai before. Okay, so it's probably the old Ver. Who was actually playing it spring of last year in Challengers. Huh. There's 2 wins as well.
And
Nice.
that wasn't when it was like super popular either.
That was the first time it like kind of popped off. Like because it was last year spring. I know some people were like, "Oh, it's the Cassante counter."
It was not the Cassante counter.
It was not the Cassante counter.
There were a lot of things that were like, "This is the answer to Cassante." No.
It turns out it was just Riot Games dev team.
It's
Riot
just
Games
Riot
dev team
Games.
was the Cassante answer.
There you go. I still
Yeah,
think he's
I
strong.
wonder who the MVP for this game is. Most likely it's going to be Siwoo, especially
It
with
has
all
to
of
be.
these highlights. And this top side has been so impressive just this year alone. I think Siwoo, while he's had a bit of a rockier first year in LCK, definitely seems like he has the hands and the mechanics to be able to play at this level. And Siwoo now in his second year playing in Tier 1, just very much a standout jungler. So that was a big question coming into tonight's series, was whether or not Clear and Raptor were going to be able to hold their own versus these two.
For me, it's also just, you can talk about all the big names on the rest of the team, right? And I think it's so important to realize that a lot of the best teams in the world pair up some veterancy with some newer blood. And while there has been some track record now over these last little bits for Lucid and Siwoo, I think it's so interesting to see how much of an impact these two guys are having. And yes, ShowMaker, aiming, BeryL, they're awesome. But it's also so cool to see some of those developing players still make a name for themselves on a big studded team like this.
Yeah. I don't know. This was a very, I don't want to say like an uneventful game, because we got a lot of cool solo kills, especially specifically from Siwoo, but a lot of the fights just didn't seem like they panned out here for BNK FEARX. So kind of back to the drawing board back for the Fox, and hopefully we came into this series saying at least one game. If BFX can take one game, I think they can be, they can be a little bit prouder about themselves.
And I hope we get to see that. I hope we get to see a culmination of their efforts, because it has been a grueling push for them, right? You have to think about it, like being able to play all those games back to back with how tight this schedule has been, but then to come out with the victories that they did come out with, even though sometimes a little bit shaky. You definitely don't want it to end in a 3-0 against DK. But hey, for DK, it's kind of right as rain. Maybe from the beginning, something we called out about them, I think, at the first day of broadcast, because we were on the first game too, Alk, is that we do expect them to be in the finals, to be the favorites of this tournament. At the time, it was, maybe a little biased, but we were like, oh, it's them and JDG. It's gonna be great. Who knew that we were gonna not have that? But DK definitely living up to the name. And I think doing not only their season, I think the last split number 3 was really interesting for them in terms of the ups and downs we saw from them, but to be able to kind of finish strong on a year that maybe didn't end up where they wanted it to.
The last slot for Worlds was basically, okay, is it going to be DK or is it going to be KT? And we saw, obviously, BDD's going to Worlds, and ShowMaker has been at least very fun. He's been having a lot of fun on the Malzahar and the LeBlanc. Let's see what our MVP probably just...
No way, bro! Dude, they love BeryL. They give him all the praise. It's his first MVP, but man, Siwoo was robbed, bro.
Siwoo literally had 2 individual solo kills, and one of them was incredibly impressive. What are we doing? All right, Lennon, we just got to get through this coffee read at this point, because we got to thank a lot of people who have been helping out the show. If you would like to support LPL English, consider becoming a coffee member today. Coffee is the best way to support the LPL English project, since the vast majority of your contributions go directly to the show. A lot of the initial payments go immediately into upgrading the broadcast, but a large bulk of it goes to paying on-air talent and content creators. Subscribe to our coffee, linked in the chat, to unlock special perks like early access to our content and the ability to ask interview questions for our unique on-site interviews, which, by the way, folks, we will be doing interviews at Worlds 2025. So if you have any questions, any burning questions you want to ask to the teams over in China, you gotta be subscribed on our coffee if you want to get access to that.
Yeah, it's going to be really awesome. I know we had a lot of that going for MSI. It's going to be really cool to be back for.
I forgot it was on that scene. I forgot it was on the one back scene.
Oh my god.
Send us to break,
But
Glennon.
anyways, we're going to break. We'll see you for game number 2.